Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today we're zeroing in on Alcoa Corporation, ticker AA, drawing from the recent reports and analyses you shared. Our goal is to get past the financial jargon and industry updates to truly understand what's happening with this major aluminum producer and why it should matter to you.
We have a collection of information here covering Alcoa's recent financial performance, their standing in the aluminum market, and some of the current challenges and opportunities they're facing right now in April 2025. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's begin by looking at Alcoa's recent financial health. The first quarter of 2025 saw revenue of approximately $3.37 billion. While that's a slight decrease from the prior quarter, it's a significant jump compared to the first quarter of 2024.
That's right. And if we consider the trailing 12-month revenue, it's close to $11.89 billion. What's interesting, is this trend.
Right.
The year-over-year growth suggests some positive momentum, even with that minor quarterly dip you mentioned.
It wasn't just about how much money they brought in, though. Their profit per share also saw a considerable rise. The adjusted EPS for the first quarter of 2025 was around $2.15.
Which is substantial.
It's a substantial improvement from previous quarters and actually exceeded what analysts were predicting. Earnings per share, or EPS, it's a key measure, tells us how much profit the company made for each share of its stock. Generally, a higher EPS is what you want to see.
Precisely. And the net income for that same period, Q1 2025, reached $548 million. That's significantly higher than the previous quarter.
Suggest improved profitability then.
Absolutely. The reports highlighted increased efficiency in their smelting operations in certain regions, which contributed significantly to that higher net income figure.
And this improved profitability led to strong cash generation, correct? I saw their adjusted EBITDA grew considerably.
It did.
Nearing about $855 million in the first quarter of 2025, even with the tariff issues we know they're dealing with. EBITDA, just for clarity, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, sort of a way to assess core operating profitability.
That's a crucial point. The increase in adjusted EBITDA shows their capacity to generate cash flow despite those, financial headwinds. That $105 million tariff impact is substantial, no doubt.
Definitely.
But the reports also suggest Alcoa is, exploring alternative sourcing or maybe hedging strategies to offset some of these costs. It's a key area to watch for their long-term profitability for sure.
Okay, shifting our focus a bit to how the market perceives them. Alcoa's market capitalization is around $6.5 billion. And it appears their stock might be, undervalued at the moment.
That's what some models suggest.
The price-to-earnings ratio is considered low relative to what financial models suggest is a fair value, indicating a potential upside of roughly 55% from the stock price we're seeing in April 2025, which is near $25 per share. Analysts use these models to estimate what a stock should be worth. So when the current price is lower than this fair value, it suggests undervaluation. Given these strong financials we just talked about, why might the market still be hesitant, leading to this potential upside? Are there specific risks maybe the market is focusing on?
Well, what's interesting is the agreement among analysts here. They also project a potential upside of around 54.70%, setting an average target price of $38.78.
It's a pretty close alignment there.
Very close. It aligns with the undervaluation suggested by the PE ratio. The recent stock price increases we've seen could very well be a response to that strong first quarter earnings report we discussed, coupled with some of their strategic financial moves. Positive earnings surprises and proactive financial management can certainly build investor confidence and give the stock price a nudge.
Let's maybe delve into Alcoa's core operations then. They're a major global player: bauxite mining, aluminum refining, primary aluminum production. It seems their large scale provides them with certain advantages.
Indeed. Their sheer size allows for certain efficiencies and potentially lower costs per unit. What's noteworthy is how they're capitalizing on this. The restart of smelters like San Ciprián in Spain and Alumar in Brazil is a tangible example. It shows their efforts to achieve cost leadership through increased operational capacity.
And it appears the demand for aluminum is quite robust right now, driven by factors like the trend towards lighter vehicles in the automotive sector.
Yes, lightweighting is huge.
And the expansion of the aerospace industry as well.
That represents a significant tailwind for Alcoa, definitely. The growing need for aluminum in these key industries provides a really strong foundation for demand.
However, it's not all smooth sailing. They're facing those U.S.-imposed tariffs, which reportedly cost them around $105 million recently.
Quite a hit.
And could amount to about $100 million annually, even after some offsets related to tariffs on Canadian aluminum. That sounds like a substantial hurdle. The reports indicate these are, what, Section 232 tariffs impacting imports from certain countries?
That's right, and it directly increases the cost of imported aluminum for Alcoa. It is a considerable headwind. Tariffs directly impact their bottom line.
Shows the complexity of global trade, really.
It does, and the interplay of these tariffs is quite intricate. Furthermore, you have geopolitical trade tensions just generally, and the global move towards greener production methods. Those are also significant trends affecting Alcoa and the entire industry.
That shift towards sustainability must require big investments, right?
It likely will, yeah. Substantial investments in new technologies and processes. This prompts an important question about how Alcoa is positioning itself in this, evolving landscape.
Alcoa has been making some interesting strategic moves, it seems. They successfully closed a significant $1 billion debt offering back in March of 2025.
That's correct.
The funds are intended to support debt restructuring and for general corporate purposes, suggesting they're taking steps to manage their capital structure and maybe enhance their financial flexibility.
Additionally, their recent acquisition of alumina that strengthened their market position. That kind of acquisition could lead to synergies, give them greater control over the alumina supply chain, which is, well, vital to their operations.
But there are also potential risks on the horizon. Ensuring smooth restarts of those smelters we mentioned. That could affect their short-term production levels, couldn't it?
Absolutely. Supply chain disruptions and just the sheer complexity of restarting large-scale industrial operations are always potential risks. These could impact their ability to meet market demand, at least in the short term.
And of course, those regulatory changes, particularly anything related to tariffs and trade policies, pose ongoing risks to their profitability. Government policies can have such a significant impact on commodity producers like Alcoa.
And these are factors they can't always directly control, which adds another layer of uncertainty.
Looking at their competition, companies like Rio Tinto and Norsk Hydro operate in the same global aluminum market.
They do. These are major players, and understanding the competitive landscape is important. What's interesting to consider is how Alcoa sets itself apart. Their focus on sustainability, perhaps, and their strong position as a bauxite miner appear to be key differentiators.
Whereas Rio Tinto has a broader range.
Rio Tinto has a more diverse mining portfolio, which might offer some risk mitigation advantages. But Alcoa's emphasis on sustainable aluminum production, that could provide a competitive edge with environmentally conscious customers, as some reports suggest.
So putting it all together, what does all of this mean for you, the listener? Alcoa seems to be in a stronger financial position right now, helped by high aluminum prices and improved efficiency.
But those tariffs are a big but.
Right. However, those tariffs are a significant factor, and the metals industry itself can be quite cyclical, so there are definitely things to monitor closely. The potential for the stock price to increase that analysts are forecasting is interesting, but you absolutely need to weigh that against the risks posed by trade policies and potential market fluctuations. This situation prompts an important consideration, really. How do companies involved in global commodities navigate significant government regulations while still trying to capitalize on periods of high demand?
It's a tough balancing act, and it really underscores the importance of understanding not just a company's financial statements, but also the wider industry trends and, critically, the regulatory environment they operate within.
It's certainly something to keep in mind as you make your investment decisions. If you found this analysis valuable, please subscribe, like, and comment to let us know. We always appreciate hearing from you.